Al pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
Hey, what's going on, fellas? My name is Rafael Jacines, no es el Capitán Rafucho, and I'm just waiting for the co-host Zenith because right now I'm gonna send the link right now, but you know what? We're gonna get it started with one of the last shows of the year 2025 because right now, this Saturday is gonna be epic. It's gonna be so much incredible right now because they have the last pay-per-view of the year 2025, which is UFC 323 in Las Vegas between Dibashvili versus Young, and of course they have Ronda Moreno versus Taira. So right now we're gonna tell about this, folks. It's gonna be like an epic night, and to be honest, right now, I mean, I just really pumped up, really pumped up for any reason, just like that. And right now, what I'm just waiting for the co-host to tell about, like the breakdowns coming at you. Make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. Also, you can follow me on different social media, and of course, you can subscribe to my co-host channel, which is Zenith. And right now, it seems like they have some breaking news coming out there because before the UFC 323 in Las Vegas, because It's gonna be so much interesting, and I promise it's gonna be like a bumpy ride because you know why? They just got confirmed. They just got confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, let's see for the drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news because for the second time on March 2026, on March 7th in Las Vegas, they're going to bring the thunder and lightning for the most anticipated event. And this time is for the BMFW title. Because I present to you Matt Holloway versus Charles Oliveira, the second part, that this time is going to be for the baddest motherfucker title. Yes, it is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. It is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. But not only about that, because they just released a schedule for the UFC 2026, because right now, the first event of the UFC 2026 is going to be on January 24. Yeah, because I know it's going to be so much interesting because I know it's going to be really interesting because this is going to be the first time in Paramount Plus. Yeah, in Paramount Plus, because check this out. Because first and foremost, they have UFC 324, Gaethje versus Patty the Pimlet, as known as Oh Party the Party. Also, I got UFC 325, Volkanovski versus Lopez on Sydney. Also, a UFC Fight Night on February 7, 2007, on UFC Epis, Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, they're going to bring back UFC Night in Mexico, February 2026, on February 28. And of course, they had the Fight Night in London on March 21, 2026. I mean, what can I tell you about this right now, folks? It's going to be like a banger card coming at you because I really understand that it was just like, man, this 2026 is going to be so much interesting because not only we can solve between Volkanovski versus Lopez, but also we can broad some interesting fights. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, right now, we have the co-host right now. Science Zenith in the building
These
right
fucking
now.
stupid headphones couldn't fucking connect. So fucking irritated. But hey, guys, I'm here. I apologize.
Oh, man.
God, it's 5 minutes of trying to connect this shit.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, I understand. I understand it.
But hey, we're here to talk
right
about
now,
some great fights this weekend. Absolutely. Thank you for holding it down, Raphael. I'm sorry for my frustration coming in the show hot, but you know, sometimes with technology,
yeah,
you gotta
I know.
have some technical difficulties over and over and over again. And here I am, just want to talk some UFC with the family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Happy Friday to you too, Daniel. Thank you so much for watching, my friend, and let's get it. I'm gonna turn the mic back over to you, and let's begin. I don't want to cut you off doing what you were saying. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Because right now it is very unpredictable. Because right now we could just start with one of the latest shows of 2025, and we're gonna bring the 2026 to render lightning and thunder. Right now, let's get it back to the business because we're gonna predict the UFC 323, the last pay-per-view of the year. Because right now we're gonna talk about between Jan Bakulovich versus Volkan Guskov. Now, between for the Guskov, the striking has the striker and power to make it a difficult one to Jan Bakulovich. So they're gonna give Guskov all the props here because Blackwish leg kicks are gonna be really devastating. That it might diminish all the power and output of the Guskov. So this fight is gonna be very interesting. And between for wrestling and grappling, Blackwish needs to wrestle in order to shut it down, punching power Guskov. So you can't really punch with get a wrestler for someone. So maybe it's gonna be it. And for the point, I'm very concerned that Bianca Lubitsch geared against the recent shoulder surgeries in just age. But hey, we've been seeing Andrei Arlovski bounce back into the age debate and whatever maybe see like Bianca Lubitsch showcase ability one more. So I will probably I'm just gonna send give me Gusko knockout round number one because I understand that he got enough power to see everything that it just should be anything. Because I know that it's being looked at and not trained in the recent bouts, but the striking power is going to be really much interesting at the light heavyweight. It might be the full display right here because Gusko perhaps like a little overrated this year because he got fantastic wins with his belt, the light highlight romance like that. But those knockout wins are always against rather if fighters who don't exactly like a durable chin, and Ghost is going to be having a more aggressive on the style and they have a lot of momentum compared to backwards. Right? So it's gonna be like the one to push forward and look at it, tickle that chin back a little bit. So this is gonna be like the weakness. And I got back and I got Gusko winning that one before the race to the pitch was to start haunted it down, but he got really done.
Dude, I absolutely 100% agree with you. I just think that Bogan is going to be too much for the ex-champion here. Now, the ex-champion, if he was much more younger, I would probably be picking him due to his skills and his IQ. When you look at Bogdan Guskov, he's 33 years old. He's 5-1 in the UFC. I'm sorry, he's 4-1 in the UFC. That only one loss coming on his debut against Bokan, which is a killer in his own right. And then after that, he knocked off 4 fights in a row. All 4 of them coming inside the distance. He had a nice ground and pound performance against Ryan Spann, and his last time out to go and hit a nice straight right in round 1 against Nikita Koloff. Now these are some names, and he also has the guillotine choke against Billy. Now, these are the names that's not really your household names, but these are still a good run, And then, of course, coming in when he did lose that against Volkan, he did come in 2024 and he did have a nice performance against Zach Punga. That being said, though, you're in a first strike win streak. This guy's looking like he's ready to take the next step, level up in competition. And I'm going to go with Guskov here, and I'm going to say Guskov inside the distance. Probably second round knockout.
Ooh, that's very interesting right now. Very interesting. All right, so next up, we got one of the most exciting fights between for the bantamweight. We got Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Now, this is going to be really interesting because it's probably going to be the last fight that Henry Cejudo between for all these memories that we just got for Henry Cejudo all over for his career, the UFC, and of course for wrestling, representing the United States, and of course Henry Cejudo is going to be taken all over for one more time. Now, between for striking, Peyton Talbot has all the advantage in one knee sort of the striking realm to defeat Cejudo because he got the hand speed, reach, height. There are so many things that believe that Cejudo is going to struggle to deal with Talbot on the feet. And for the wrestling and grappling, as much as I think Cejudo has a chance to out-wrestle Talbot, because I just think that it's going to have a much success taking a Talbot's takedown defense. It's going to be so much better and better and better. So obviously he working on this camp. So it will be like really silly to get all over for like this right now. But it seems like between for like Talbot, he's coming up with a win at the worst stage of his career. It's probably no longer for fighting for a belt. But for the money, to fight out his contract, I don't think it really performed this weekend. And Talbot is coming off with a win against Lima, which is very secure. And I'm just like, man, this is going to be real interesting. But I got Talbot winning that one because the striking, it could have shined here. And he should improve with his takedown defense and wrestling defense enough to deal Henry Cejudo one-dimensional approach accordingly. Because surrounded about concern with his takedown defense and get ability, I think that Talbot still walked away for the victory because I understand his opponents are standing with it before finding out with the counter strike very clearly, but as Cejudo's trying to really close the gap with the takedown positions, I think that Talbot's going to be really clipped over and over and over, trying to accomplish what he needs to accomplish as at least and try it and win with his game plan.
Dude, you're absolutely right. What up, Mac the Giants fan? Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Mac the Giants fan. You can check him out every Wednesday on NFC East Roundup, and then of course Premium Takes when we get that back up and running. Dude, you're absolutely right. Henry Cejudo, I would be tired after that loss against Sterling. He clearly shown that he can't. He's 38. He's not in the prime of his career no more. Losing to to Marab and Sterling, not so bad, but losing the song, he just looked washed. He really looked washed, and now he's going against a young prospect in Peyton that really has something to prove. A lot of people will think that this is too much for Peyton to handle, but I'm going to go with my co-host there, and I'm going to agree with Raphael. I just think Peyton's going to be my fastest striker. He's going to pick his moments, and he's going to stuff the takedowns. If Henry Cejudo was younger, I would pick Henry Cejudo every day of the week just based off per contact experience, obviously wrestling, and then, of course, the resume. But this is the kind of fight where the resume, it doesn't really count, because I just think that the UFC is looking to put a big name on Peyton's record, and that's what they're going to do. So once Peyton gets the Henry Cejudo name, once he gets that win against that, now people can be like, okay, now he finally has a name on his record, because all the guys he's been fighting hasn't really been anybody but Lima, right? So he did beat Lima, and Felipe Lima is a big name in the sport, but Henry Cejudo, even though he's old, he's still bigger. So if you knock that Henry Cejudo now you enter in the world of, now you're a prospect. Now can you work your way up to become a contender? When you knock someone out like Henry Cejudo, now you're reaching the ranks, and once you reach the top 15, it's a whole nother playing field. Peyton, I believe, is ready for that move, and I like how the UFC, they didn't rush him. They took their time with him, and obviously he has a pretty good record in the UFC. He is 4-1. Hopefully, Cejudo can be his 5th win, and he probably will. So give me Peyton. I'm not gonna say by anything special. I'll probably say by decision, probably unanimously. I see him winning clear out. I don't see Henry really giving him much of a test. The only question that I have a lot of questions, but the one question that I'm going to be looking to get the answer for is, can Peyton stop his takedowns? If Peyton can stop Henry's takedowns, it's all Peyton's fight. If the fight goes to the ground and Peyton can't stop his takedowns, then you're looking for a long night for Peyton. But I see Peyton dancing and prancing and working his way around the octagon and not Henry Cejudo just chasing. So give me Peyton inside not inside the distance, full distance.
There you go.
Peyton by decision.
There you go right now. There you go right now. There you go. All right.
Let's get the blowhorn. Get the blowhorn.
Okay. Yeah, I know that I got the blowhorn coming out there right now. Yeah, let's go. I know the soundboard is going to be really lit. Now, let's get for the next fight for the flyweight bout, because we have number 3 versus number 6. Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. Which went for striking. I like Taira because he's a good fighter. Great grappler, but his striking is very, very, very standard rudimentary. And I think Moreno is more dangerous on the feet. It is more used to the firefights, where Taira is more comfortable striker. He doesn't really let his hands go things like go crazy. He's go through level changes. It's more frenetic at the pace on the feet. I think that Moreno can find success. And for the wrestling and grappling, Taira is absolutely a freak athlete when it comes to grappling and wrestling. He's very tricky to get a read on because he's always 5 steps ahead of his opponent. And I think that Moreno is great on the ground, but I just think that Taira is just like very tricky and such a nasty grappler. And he understands about Marav. So I'll give like Taira the knock here. And as much as I had to say those things about Taira during the UFC career, I'm going to go with Taira, because I know that Moreno, he's got the experience against contenders and champions. He has the ability to shut it down, especially his wrestling well. But I think that it's going to be like a long one, but I had to choose Taira because he had given an eye to the recent bouts because he has shined brightly. And it's such a young age as well. Grappling is credible. He's nudged to manipulate his opponents, went off balance. And please root for the victory, because what it does to take it a wrestler, or at least backpack control to submit Moreno. Moreno just get ready all that, because I struggle to see Taira can easily win this one. But if it does win against Moreno, that will be something special, because I know there's some people that just wanted to use Brandon Moreno winning that one, but I choose Tatsuro Taira winning this one by submission, round number 2, because Taira is very something special, very young, and he will just like really great. He knows it about for the wrestling and grappling. Taken for another example, which is Marab, Islam. I mean, they know about for like very tricky, nasty grapplers, and of course, he learned it for the wrestler anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I am probably going to be taking Taira on DraftKings because of his price, and I just think he can get that flash knockout. But one thing about this fight is I'm looking at is Brandon Moreno. Now Brandon Moreno, yes, he's 11-5 and 2 in the octagon, and Tyra is 7-1 in the octagon. That being said, though, with the overall record of 23-8, Brandon Moreno is coming in with a lot of experience. He just has 2 back-to-back victories against 2 top-named contenders in Steve Ercik and also in Amir Albazi. Now, when you look at Amir Albazi and you look at Steve Ercik, those are the top of the top. My question to Tawosu is, can you come in here and can you handle yourself? And I think the answer is yes. I think it is going to go a decision, and whether it goes which way, that's hard to tell. That's hard for me to tell right now. But I just truly believe that the fight against Brandon Royal, that loss was a good loss for his career, because sometimes, I get it. You'd be like, no, Zion, how can any loss be good for your career? Sometimes you're just overconfident and then you get a loss and then now you really, really start fighting smart. And not that he was ever not fighting smart. The guy has 15-0 for a reason before that loss. But to come in after that loss and to get a nice submission, face count choke against Han Sung Park, that was a big performance. And I think he keeps it going. So part of me wants to pick Brandon Moreno, and I am probably going to say Brandon Moreno by decision. So I'm going to say it. Brandon Moreno by decision, because I just think that Brandon Moreno still got it. He's 31 and he still got it. And this is a big, big move up in competition for Tyler. Wow. But I would like to see Tusuwawa win this fight. I'm messing up his name. I'm sorry. I'm slaughtering your name right now. But at the end of the day, I have to go with Brandon Moreno. But I want him to win because I will be playing in DraftKings. So I'm going to be cheering for him, but I'm going to say Brandon's probably going to get the win.
Yeah, and also one thing, because I know that Latin American fighters like Brandon Moreno, they build a lot different. And I think he took a lot of heart. Energy. Yeah, I love his energy too, because I know the first time that he earned that belt against Emerson Figueiredo, it was so magical. And of course, he just won against Steve Ercik. I mean, that guy is everything. I mean, not only for his grappling, but also his striking. I mean, he emerged like one of those favorites to watch.
Yeah, he also even got a win against the guy. He even got the win against the guy who was just fighting for the champion in Kai He got a doctor stoppage against Figueroa. Like, I get it, the eye poke, but anyhow, he has big names on. He has 2 wins actually over Figueroa, and I just feel like and 2 wins against Kyra France. I just feel like Brandon's gonna come out here and show the world, like, hey guys, don't forget about me. I'm still around. And I think for the Japanese guy, I think he needs to come out here. He needs to make a statement. Dana White's the matchmakers is giving you this fight for a reason. You go out there and you capture and you seize your opportunity, because if you get a win against Brandon Moreno, you're looking at the title in a couple of wins. You're just stacking wins. You're fighting for the title next.
Exactly. All right, so next up, we got for the co-main event for the flyweight championship bout between Alessandro Pantoja versus Joshua Ban, the number 4. Because I would like to say this could be like a show stealer, because between for Alessandro Pantoja, striking, Joshua Ban will be superior. Quick throws and volumes, uses combinations very well. But the problem is sometimes he really get caught and is absolutely dogged. Like, right? I mean, he can take strikes, but keep dishing them back. So I would expect to Ban to just strive it as long as the fight remains standard, because Pantoja is just like hittable as Ban. And for the wrestling and grappling, this is where Pantoja should win the fight, because the main game plan to win fights is use his grappling. So other things is going to be like some takedown attempts from Pantoja to win the fight. But the varying degrees of his success in Ban's takedown defense is really good. And we'll tell you for this right now, between Ferrelis and Pantoja, he's been very dominant champion for a long time now. He defended for his belt 4 times now against some tough competition, aside from Kai Sakura fight. That one was weird, but we can expect one more thing from Pantoja. That is so wrestling and grappling. As always, he won these fights. It has paid a little division that is style for game plan. But Ben has been looking very good really against mediocre competition for the most part, except for the fight against Royal. But he probably can hit it on with the big boys and, of course, give it a lot of punches. But Ben is a little bit slow started, that are the kinds that make intrigued to discover how well fights in a 5-round bouts. If he had a decent pace in the second, third round, that is supposedly extra prep time. So I'm going to take Alessandro Pantoja going out for the distance and take it all over for the bell by decision, because I know it's going to be really risky. Because how many times did they keep like a lot of this for the grappling and strangling, but they want to give some everything. So this is going to be like unable to get separation. Give me Alessandro Pantoja who win.
I love it. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm gonna have to go with Joshua Van, and here's my reason. Here's my reasons for it. What he showed me in the Grand Down Royale fight is heart and self-belief and not giving up on himself. And now Pantoja is the better fighter, but he's not gonna be the better fighter on that night because of the self-belief. I believe that Joshua Van is gonna come in there and is gonna be much more faster. He's gonna come in there, he's gonna show his fight IQ, and he's gonna be taken down, but his will is gonna get him back up to his feet. And once he gets him up to his feet, he's going to be looking like the better striker in there. I know that's tough saying because I know who Pantoja is. And like Raphael just said, he's on a 4-fight win streak he's on a 4-fight championship defending win streak, should I say, after winning that championship and not giving it back. But I do believe that it's time for Menmore to get a champion. So let's bring that back to Menmore. Is how you pronounce it? Joshua Van, where he's from, and let's give them Asian people from that country a championship. 24 years old, much more younger. He's looking like the next generation of fighter. One of the best boxers in the UFC, hands down. I can say top 5 for sure. And I love me some Joshua Van. His second fight in the UFC, I became a fan, and I never stopped watching him. Watched all his fights till today. Not all his fights all his UFC fights, okay? Yeah, going back and looking at his fights before the UFC. Let's just say that, dude. I think he's ready. I think the moment's not too big for him. I think he's riding a great win streak right now. I believe he's on a 5-fight win streak, all in the last year and a half almost. Yeah, literally in the last year and a half, he fought 5 fucking times. And I honestly think he's ready for this moment. The moment's not too big for him. I think he takes that championship in a split decision. I'm gonna say split decision. 3 rounds to Van, 2 rounds to Pantoja. Split decision victory for Joshua Van.
Wow, that's very incredible. I understand.
It's the same motherfucker that told you guys that it's gonna dominate Jack. I'm just joking.
Oh yeah, exactly. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we got for the main event.
Ahora viene el hit de los hit.
We got the main event coming up there between from Merab Dvalishvili versus Pech Yan. Now, for Merab Dvalishvili is someone who needs no introduction because he right now he's the GOAT bantamweight division because he's striking. Jan is a striker. Be for the debate here because he will be more down the feet. He will like return his hand because he couldn't triumph for the injury. But he shouldn't leave to land perhaps and even knock it out or knock it a rampage machine. There is Merab Dvalishvili because striking is very fine. It's very okay. But it's just like busy work to open on the opponents for takedowns. Now for the wrestling and grappling, this is where Dvalishvili is going to have his game plan to the speak. But Jan's takedown difference is really good, but he's had a short fucking fighter who has a takedowns if he needs things. And I just think it's kind of the best chance that all the Merab party opponents he fight the longest. But it's gonna be like really covered off here because I know that he uses cardio to weapon to exhaust his opponents with his so far with a clean style, and he doesn't give a crap. As long as he's attacking takedowns, attacking strikes, and doing anything with his opponent busy defending, he's winning the fight. That's essentially needs to say about it. Now, Rankings has said throughout all this fight's announcement that his hand is broken. He followed them off for the first time. It is true. There was something funky going up into his hands, so they're racing and trace how he performed this weekend. Even Moreno. In terms of being a striker, there's no doubt that Jan has a perfect style for Merab as a tight guard because I think it's going to be really exhausting. So give me Merab Dvalishvili by decision because I think Merab remains the belt. It will be cool because he didn't cause the divisions to get a little bit stale right now with Merab so dominant, but he's like to keep this belt after the fight. And I hope that it's going to be very interesting because I understand that I'm wearing the t-shirt of Miley, but we all know the real motherfucker. We all know the real GOAT is Merab Dvalishvili because no one can deny it.
Absolutely. No one can deny it. I'm sorry, Dominic Cruz, Renan Burrell, TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt, Henry Cejudo, Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling, and Sean O'Malley. We're looking at the best bantamweight to ever touch the title. Moab, if he was in a higher division, I believe he'll get more hype. I believe that this is the best bantamweight, and he's going to go down in history as one of the GOATs. I don't know if he's going to make Mount Rushmore if at the end of the day, but if he keeps on winning, he'll probably be close. I just truly believe that his skill is on a different level, and it's not that it's on a different level. It's his cardio, and we all know it. When you have cardio like Moab and you don't get tired, you can literally fight at a pace that others can't keep up with, and you can really drown your opponents, and that's what Moab does every time. You know, you think like, oh, this guy's going to be the guy that beats him, and then he doesn't. As a Sean O'Malley diehard fan, I love me some Sean O'Malley. You know, Sean O'Malley got embarrassed against Moab twice. And that's what good fighters do. They good fighters, great fighters, should I say legends, don't let his opponent look as equal. And that's what he doesn't. People don't look equal to Moab when he steps into the cage. What's up, Aiden? Thank you so much for being here, my friend. People do not look like his equal. They don't look like UFC fighters when they get into the ring against Moab. Now, something tells me Peter Yan is going to come and be sneaky. Peter Yan's going to put up a fight. I don't think that Peter Yan's just going to go in there and this is his third chance, I believe, right, fighting for the championship. So he's going to go in there and he's going to give it his all. But I just think that his all is not as good as Moab. I mean, like, I am probably going to have a handful of Peter Yan just because he's so cheap on DraftKings. But at the end of the day, gun to my head, if I was betting on this fight, you have to take Moab. Gun to the head, you bet on this fight, you take Moab. You'll be stupid otherwise. I mean, like, obviously, if you're gonna chase, you can chase, but you'll probably lose. I'm not gonna be there to tell you do it. But if you want, I know the money good. I know the odds look good. I know you want to take Peter Yan. But at the end of the day, I can see Moab coming and bringing that Georgia championship right back to where it belongs. Championships is not going to switch hands. And one thing I do respect about Moab is he's not looking to go up to the featherweight division and fight the current champion in the featherweight division. He's not looking to go after Alex Alex is the champion. He's not looking to do that. He's looking at defending his division. He's not looking to go down and go mess around with Pantoja. No, he's going to defend in the bantamweight division, and that's absolutely what I respect about Moab. He's super funny. He deserves. I get it. Some people be like, "Oh, he's already getting all the hype." No, he's underrated. He's so underrated. Moab is one of the best fighters in the UFC, top 3 for sure. And I just think that top 4 for sure. Forgot about Chimaev, but he's right up there. I mean, like, he's such a dog, and it's so hard for me to pick against him. I mean, like, it just, even if he was fighting Max Holloway, like, he is a dog, and I'm going to pick Moab. I mean, like, it's so hard not to. He's at a point where, like, if you don't pick Moab, you're just going to waste your money at that point, you know?
That's very good. That's very good. All right. So before we get to end this right now, because I know that's going to be like a really short to do like predictions. So right now, between for the 2026, right now, UFC have made a lot of changes, and they have for the upcoming events. For the January 24th, it's going to be for the first time ever UFC on Paramount Plus, bringing on the Thunder in Las Vegas, Nevada, between Justin Gage versus Patty the Painblade, as known as Patty the Body. Also, we got from January 31 from Sydney, Australia. They had the second part of Diego Lopez versus Alexander Volkanovski, but this time it's going to be for the belt. Also in February, they have UFC Fight Night in Houston, Texas, and Mexico City. And for the March, they have some big, great card to say for the main event between Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. But this time, it's going to be for the BMF title in Las Vegas. And then they're going to have UFC Fight Night in London, England, and of course, Seattle, Washington. So, and of course, they're going to change the hour, because for the first time ever, they're going to move up from 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, because there's no longer 7 p.m. Pacific time to watch UFC fights, because this is going to be the first time that we're going to see UFC on Paramount Plus, but also no longer pay-per-views, because the pay-per-view is going to be really dying soon in 2025, because for the last pay-per-view on December, but right now it's going to bring it up for the brand new era, brand new home, which is Paramount Plus, and of course, brand new fights that all the people can enjoy it, including for the BMFW title, which is Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. I mean, Hawaii versus Brazil.
I absolutely love that fight. I think that fight is going to be amazing. There's two legends going on. And thank you for reminding me about that time change. Absolutely right. There is going to be a time change in the fights now, guys. The main card is going to be starting at 6 o'clock rather than 7, 9 o'clock rather than 10. That being said, though, I don't really like that Patty versus Justin fight. I mean, like, I get it. The champion is dealing with some issues in his personal life. And God bless him. God be with him. But that being said, though, I kind of just felt like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. But I really do love this Oliveira versus Max Holloway, and that's just not me being biased and a Holloway fan. This is me because we don't really know. I mean, like, they fought, but Oliveira got a shoulder injury. So I don't look at that like a win for Max. Yes, it says a win on his resume, but that's unfair to Oliveira. And as an Oliveira fan myself, I want to see Oliveira get his final opportunity to go out there and go and try to win a title, try to win a BMF, retire as the BMF champ. You know, if Oliveira goes out there and beats Holloway, I'm gonna be happy for Oliveira. But I just think that right now Holloway is just at phase 2 in his training, and I just kind of feel like there's very few people that can beat this version of Holloway at lightweight. I just truly believe that the performance against Justin Gaethje and then this is performance against Dustin Poirier. That's what I'm basing it on. I mean, like both of those fights, I get it with Justin Gaethje. It was almost his broken nose in the first round that kind of stopped him. So I would love to see a rematch. I would love for Max Holloway to get a rematch against Jason Gaethje. But as a Max Holloway fan, I know that he's closer to the end of his career rather than the middle, and I kind of feel like he's gone in the next 2 years. So I just hope that in the next 2 years he just goes on here has these super fights. Like I wouldn't even be caring if he doesn't fight for the championship. I know he probably will one day, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be a different fight too against Ilya. But at the end of the day, I love how he's fighting in super fights. Obviously, this not really a super fight, but it's a big name fight. It's big gain hunting, and that's what Max Holloway is doing. And I love that Oliveira came out there and Oliveira said his thing and called Max out. And I think that's going to be a fun fight. And also, a stacked card. If you really look at it, I believe Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes is coming back on that card. I believe Sean O'Malley's on that card. So UFC
Exactly. Yes.
I might have to fly to Vegas and go watch it, but we'll see. We'll see. The fucking UFC fights are so expensive, I feel. But that being said, I'm just happy that we have a new home for the UFC, and I kind of think that's gonna save us a lot of money and a lot of shitty quality crack streams. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna give us good content, and I just kind of feel like being able to watch a pay-per-view after it finished and not unless you pay for it, and I pay for some that's really good. But at the end of the day, it's almost as if like you can go to a friend's house and watch it, and we've been doing that, right? But now that we have actual Paramount Plus, that is going to be the home of the UFC, and you see a knockout, you literally can rewind it and watch it 100 times. That's also going to help me and you as MMA podcasters. We're able to really watch the fights multiple times before we even get on and talk about it on our recap show. So I know my schedule has been all over the place, guys, but I know we probably will be back at least early next week, either Wednesday, Thursday. Either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday for a recap. And you can probably catch us on a little episode on a Friday, or we'll check each other's schedules. But I just want to apologize on my behalf, guys, because this guy right here, he's been trying to pump some episodes out, and my schedule's just been so horrid. So I appreciate, not horrid, it's just been busy. So that being said, I appreciate you guys holding through. And 2026, we really are going to build this show up, and we really are going to start building it to where it needs to be, man. Thank you so much, Raphael, for always holding it down and always setting up it with the graphics and everything, man. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And right now, I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for joining in at the other episode of The Comic Club. Remember, subscribe to our channels, Capitán Rafucho and Zenith, our co-hosts. And of course, I just wanted to tell you, let's bring the new one for the 2026. And of course, I just wanted to tell you, happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, because I know it's November. And of course, Happy New Year.
And fuck Joe Shane. Another time, another day.
Because I understand, because right now we're just different football fans, because I know he's from New York Giant fan, and I know from Las Vegas Raiders, so we have different in common. So I know that our coaching sucks, our online sucks. I mean, that's really different right now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining in. And of course, for the next week, we're going to recap all the entire year of the UPC. And of course, we're going to bring the biggest surprises, biggest upsets, and of course, who should it be like a fight in 2026 where a super fight. So I just wanted to tell
Real
you.
fast, I want you guys to
for
leave a
joining
comment
it.
on this video. Comment on this video what you guys think is the best fight of the year, and we'll talk about it next week sometime. We'll talk about it. So I want you guys to comment what was the best fight of 2025, and when we get some of your guys' comments, we'll for sure talk about it.
Exactly. All right,
That
so
Joshua Van versus
gentlemen,
Royal fight's got to be up there. I'm sorry, you're just trying to end the show. I keep on talking.
yeah.
Let's get it.
All right, so have a good one, folks. Have a great Friday, and of course, let's get it, folks. Salute to y'all.